My name is Gloria Oje Emodi, and I would like to share some very important information with you on something I call a silent epidemic: fibroids. I'm not speaking to you as a medical expert because I'm not, but I'm speaking to you as a person who battled fibroid for 12 long years. My battle with fibroid led me to have 2 C-section births, 2 miscarriages, 1 myomectomy. And this time last year, I had a hysterectomy, which is a surgery to remove my uterus, what you call the womb. In my bid to find a solution to my fibroid issues, I consulted 9 gynecologists. I spoke to 5 alternative medicine experts. I lived on drugs, remedies, concoctions, herbs, you name it. I took all of them. And that is why this information that I'm giving to you is coming from a place of experience. And I therefore urge you to please share this video with as many women as you can, because there is a possibility someone close to you is currently battling fibroid. So here are some very important truths about fibroid that you really need to know. Fibroids are non-cancerous growths that can occur in and around a woman's uterus, and it usually comes with prominent symptoms such as heavy menstrual flow, excruciating pelvic or lower back pain, and can cause infertility in women. In fact, its effect on a woman's ability to conceive is perhaps the hardest part of fibroid, and it's also what places a stigma on the ailment, making it difficult for women to talk about. In fact, when I told some women that I wanted to make this video, they said, "Oh, Gloria, don't talk about this." But it needs to be talked about. It is believed that 1 in 3 Black women would probably have fibroid before she hits the age of 50. In fact, a recent survey by the US Fibroid Center gives a very scary data, saying that 80% of Black women are at risk of developing fibroids before they hit the age of 50. Some women can have fibroids and never experience symptoms, but recent information is showing that more and more women are now coming down with severe symptoms with very serious adverse effects on their daily lives. So as a woman, you need to get checked. Number 3. As a woman, you can develop fibroid at any stage of your reproductive life. That means from the onset of your period till menopause, there is a possibility that you can develop fibroid. In fact, I recently spoke to a lady who is just 19 years old, and she was booked for her first fibroid operation. Number 4. Fibroids can grow whether or not you have conceived a baby before. My first fibroid was diagnosed at the age of 28 before I even had my first child. And my second fibroid was diagnosed after I'd had my second child. In fact, a family member of mine developed fibroids after having 5 children. Number 5, it can regrow after surgery. And I personally think this is the scariest part of fibroid. I was told when I had my first fibroid up that it can regrow within 3 to 5 years after surgery. However, I recently counseled a lady whose fibroid regrew 14 months after surgery. So not only is the possibility of its regrowth after surgery very high, it can grow back after a very short period. That is what information is showing us. And that is why I have this personal advice for you. This is not coming from medical personnel. This is coming from me, a person who has had fibroid and has spoken to over 300 women who have had fibroid. Please, if you are a woman desirous of having children and you have had a fibroid up, I suggest after 12 to 18 months of trying naturally and it doesn't happen, please seek help. I think it's only smart for you to start attempting IVF or fertility procedures to help you conceive if you can afford it. This is because if it regrows before you get pregnant, the chances of conception naturally is even much further reduced. And if you do get pregnant with active fibroids or after a second myomectomy, that becomes a very high risk pregnancy, like my first pregnancy. So if you have had fibroids and you've had surgery and you try to conceive naturally after 12 to 18 months, it doesn't happen, please move on to IVF, move on to fertility procedures, because it gets harder if that fibroid regrows. So I know the question on your mind right now is, what causes fibroid? Now, this is another sad part. No one knows. No one knows what causes fibroids, but it is believed that the high levels of female reproductive hormones like the estrogen and the progesterone is what leads to their growth. And a significant reduction of these hormones, especially during menopause, is what shrinks fibroids. So after hearing this, the logical way to prevent fibroids should be to keep your hormones at normal levels, right? But how do you do that when anything, including stress, can spike your hormones? Anything at all can put your hormones out of balance. The food you eat, the place you live in, your lifestyle, your body, your genes, anything can make your hormones go out of sync. So experts would suggest that having a healthy lifestyle can help. As a woman, you're more likely to have fibroids if women in your family have had them or are prone to hormonal disorders. During my journey, I discovered that some of the women in my family had battled fibroids and related ailments. But just like me, they went on to achieve pregnancies and are managing them well. So it actually helps if you know your family history with fibroids so that you can start in time to manage them and know what the journey ahead is for you. And now to the most controversial part of this video, which I am sure a number of people might disagree with me on it. But please note that everything I share here with you is from experience, consultations with experts, and from speaking with over 300 women who are at various stages of their fibroid journey. Now, I do not believe that there is any local remedy, supplement, or concoction that can shrink fibroids. Now, the only way to shrink fibroid is to either stop or significantly reduce the production of estrogen, and this can only happen naturally during menopause. Otherwise, you would need very strong drugs to do that, and these drugs, they produce very, very terrible side effects. I know because I tried them. Yes, at some point in my fibroid journey, one of my consultants suggested inducing menopause. I tried it and my goodness, the side effects near killed me. And I have taken a lot of these concoctions, the teas, the herbs, the supplements. I've taken a lot of them. Now, what I believe some of these supplements can do at best is to reduce the further growth of an already existing fibroid. But to shrink an already existing fibroid, I really don't think that is possible. I mean, after 12 years of trying everything, I ended up having a hysterectomy. So please be careful with all of the things that you buy out there, especially if you are dealing with fibroid. I'm not trying to be an alarmist, but I believe fibroids aren't getting as much attention as it should, considering the incredible number of women it affects. A post on my fibroid journey is pinned on my Instagram page, and you can click on the link on my bio to find out more on my YouTube page about my fibroid journey and a lot of things that I had discovered in those 12 years. But please, share this video. Talk to your health experts, and even as a man, help the women in your life who have been diagnosed with fibroid. They are going through a lot.